Assalamu alaikum. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, Khawateen Hazrat, viewers, Sajno te Mitro. Today I'm going to teach you a very different dish. This dish comes from a place called Adygea, which is in North Caucasus. Caucasus Mountains. Caucasus is a region on the western side of Russia, north of Georgia, and that region with all those Caucasus mountains is called the Caucasus region. In fact, the word Caucasian also originated from that region. In that Caucasus region is a place called Adygea, where once upon a time the natives lived happily, and then the Tsars of Russia decided to clean them. Maybe because what I've read is that they were really strong people, and maybe he feared them. So he started ethnic cleansing of these people, and they were driven out of their homeland. They scattered all over the globe. Many of them are still living in Turkey, Jordan, in the Levantine region of the Arab world. And these people actually played an important role in the development and in the establishment of Amman, the capital of Jordan. They laid the foundation of Amman, the capital of Jordan. And one of the dishes of their cuisine, the Circassian cuisine. Circassian is the English word, and Sharkas is the Arabic word. Sometimes it's also called Cherkessian. I think they themselves call it Cherkessian. So they brought their cuisine, and one of the cuisine which assimilated in Levantine cuisine, especially the Jordanian cuisine, is shipso pasta. Actually, it's shepso pasta, but since Arabs can't pronounce P, so they say B. And I've always loved it, and I have eaten it very fondly most of my life, and I never cooked it. And in fact, this is the first time I cooked it. I have always appreciated it, but I never cooked it out of laziness because it requires special skills. I have observed people cooking it. I've eaten it. I love it. But today I'm going to share the recipe with you. And I've eaten it because my grandmother used to cook. She was herself a Circassian, a Sharkas, and I loved her a lot. And she was a great cook. And she cooked shipso pasta a pro when it came to cooking shipso pasta. So while cooking this, I miss her because I have very fond memories with her. So let's start cooking the dish. Now the first important thing is this Circassian or Sharka spice mixture. I have a few things missing in this spice mixture. Will be made by grinding all these things together and then rubbing them on the chicken. I'm making this video in English because the people who requested this particular dish cannot comprehend Urdu. So let's start it, but I will also put this video again with an Urdu voiceover. So what I have here is equal quantities. I have 2 chicken. Look, I've cut them. You can cut them in any size, but I've made 4 pieces of each chicken. And I have this. I was supposed to use garlic powder, but since I don't use powdered spices, so I am using this whole, and I will crush it myself and grind it myself. So I have, everything should be in equal quantity. So I have here black pepper, coriander seeds, parsley, dried basil, paprika, and they're all the same amount. Some look more, some look less. Ideally, they should be of equal quantity, and I'm sure that once I grind these, or once I crush them in pestle and mortar, they will be the same quantity as well. In this particular plate, I've taken 2 teaspoons of each of these ingredients. Now the ingredients which are missing is dill and marjoram. Marjoram is also a spice which is What is missing is marjoram, which is related to oregano, but it is milder and sweeter than oregano. I'll put a picture of it on top as overlay, and dill. I don't have dill. And then what else they add here is hot paprika, but I don't have hot paprika. I only have these things. So I'll start my work. I'm going to peel it, crush it, and then I'll put everything in the grinder. And once this mixture is done, I'll show you how to rub it on the chicken pieces. So now I have, this is called Circassian or Cherkessian spice mixture, right? So I'm going to rub this on these pieces of chicken, right? Since I have 2 chickens, so like it should be enough to coat the entire surface of all the pieces, and then I'll just put it away, right? So this is how I'm going to massage the spices on the chicken, right? So there it goes. So this is actually the chips part of the dish, which I am preparing. The chips part of the dish. I don't know if it's chips. No, it's not chips. It's actually chips. So this is the chips part of the dish. So all the chicken pieces are completely coated with the spice mixture, the Cherkessian or Circassian or Sharkas spice mixture, right? Some of it is still there, so I'm going to put it aside. Now this is the pasta part of the dish. These are Egyptian rice, right? So I'll show you the Egyptian rice. These are small grain rice, and they have a lot of amylopectin, so they are clumpy. They tend to stick. And ideally, in the authentic recipe, they add the burgal wheat. Burgal wheat is crushed wheat. I will also add a picture of the burgal wheat in the overlay. But this is taken 1 part, and burgal wheat is taken 2 parts, and then they are boiled together. But I have only this. So I have to soak it, and then I have to boil it, and then later I will tell you how I will add this to the dish. So this is the pasta part of it, where I am excluding burgal because of my gluten intolerance, because of my celiac. So this is the pasta part of it, and this is the chips part of the dish. Now for the chips part of the dish, I need to brown some flour. It's supposed to be normal wheat flour, but that is actually meant to thicken the soup part, the sauce part of the dish. But I am here using gluten-free white flour, and I'm going to brown it for some time, and then I will add it to the sauce. Since it is gluten-free flour, which has more corn flour in it, so I think it wouldn't brown more. I will just use it like this, and if I brown it more, maybe the taste alters in a way that becomes unacceptable. So here is the white flour, the browned flour or cooked flour or roasted flour, whatever we can say. And now I have these walnuts. For 1 chicken, I have to use like half cup walnuts, and there I have 2 chickens, so this is more than half cup. So I'm going to, some people just crush it, but I'm going to grind it, because after you grind it, it adds better taste to the dish. So grinding these is very difficult, because when you start grinding them, oil comes out, and that makes the grinding process difficult. So I have to do repeated efforts. You get this, when you get the powder, you have to remove the whole groundnuts, and then you have to go and grind them again. That's how it works, but it's worth the effort. So if you want to grind them, you can grind them too, but you can crush them with pestle and mortar, but in that case it wouldn't be fine. See, it's not fine. So it's up to you. If you have a lot of time, you can go for a blender and grind it repeatedly, or if you don't have time, you can just crush it using pestle and mortar. Remember, this dish would be utilizing a lot of this walnut oil as well, and it's all about walnuts and paprika and a lot of Maillard reaction, if you remember the Maillard reaction. So now I'm going to, less onions are recommended for 2 chickens, but I'm going to use 4 of them because I think these onions are too small. So I'm going to use 4 onions. If you have large onions, you can use 2 of them. So I'm going to put them in this deep pot. I'm going to slice them because I want to fry them, make them brown, caramelize them in the conventional language, or let them undergo Maillard reaction, which will give a lot of taste to the whole dish. And then I will put the chicken pieces. Extra virgin olive oil. There's ideally, or in the authentic dish, everything should be cooked in butter, but I'm not going for that. I'm going to cook it in extra virgin olive oil. The authentic dish recipe suggests sometimes butter, sometimes ghee, but I wouldn't fall into that trap. I would stick to my extra virgin olive oil and would use as less as possible. No compromise on health. So here goes the extra virgin olive oil. I've added more than the usual amount I add in my dishes because this dish requires a lot of browning of the chicken. In this I have to add paprika, but paprika is to be added after the onions have caramelized or have undergone Maillard reaction. So let's wait. So salt can be added anytime during the cooking process, and I am adding salt like when I'm browning the onions. Since a lot of spices are going in this dish, so it's better if you wait till the dish is cooked and then you can taste it and decide how much salt is to be added. Here I have Egyptian rice and I'm cooking them without oil because I want them to be more sticky. If I add oil, they would be less sticky. I was to add burgul wheat, but since I cannot, so I have to make them extra sticky. Otherwise, burgul wheat adds the stickiness to this pasta part of the dish. I have to stir it so that onions are browned uniformly from all sides. It's about to brown, and I have to add some water, and then I will add chicken so that chicken doesn't stick to the walls of the pot. This is enough browning in the Circassian culture, but for South Asian culture, this isn't enough browning. I'm letting it brown, and then I will flip it and I will let the other side brown, and then I will add the sauce part of it. While the chicken is cooking, I will dissolve this flour in my lactose-free milk, and then I will add it in the pot so that it doesn't clump. I was actually supposed to cook rice in chicken broth, but I didn't have chicken broth, and besides there is a lot of chicken and eventually it will all be immersed in chicken sauce and everything, so there is no point of cooking it in chicken broth and making things more difficult and more complicated. So here I have a homogeneous mixture of my gluten-free flour. That's my rice. So once all the water has evaporated, I'll crush it. Time to pour the flour mixture. More water in it. So you see the red color all over? That's paprika. Authentic dish includes addition of cayenne pepper, but I wouldn't do that. That would make it too much hot. Going to be a lot of cooking on high flame for some time till the chicken becomes tender and the sauce becomes thick, but I usually prefer a thin sauce, not a very thick sauce. Let's wait. I'm doing this with the rice. And now it's time for walnuts to go into the pot. The most important ingredient, I think, are the walnuts. Now it's time to make Sheb-Shidagha sauce. The authentic recipe of Sheb-Shidagha sauce includes ghee, the vegetable ghee, also includes vegetable oil, includes paprika, and includes ground chili powder. But that's too much. What I would do is, just to make it look like an authentic recipe with Sheb-Shidagha sauce poured on it, I would just take some vegetable oil and add paprika in it, and I will just heat it for some time so that the recipe looks authentic and the final dish looks authentic. Otherwise, I have no intention of adding it to the dish. For one chicken, you need a sauce that is made from 1/4 cup of oil. Isn't that too much? I'm just putting oil in it. Added to it 1 teaspoon of paprika, and we needed a deep pot for cooking this because see how it's boiling and it has to boil for some time. Sheb-Shidagha sauce. Sometimes I feel that after all the houses and accommodations are centrally heated or centrally air conditioned, so the cuisine must also change accordingly. Or people are doing more desk jobs and they are not doing manual jobs as they did in the past, but the cuisine are still the same and the lifestyles are changing. That's alarming. We have the pasta part, the Sheb's part, and the hot sauce part. So after the dish is cooked, I'm going to dish out as it should be, and I'll show you, and I will add pictures of it as well. After the dish has been cooked, I will dish out the way it should be, and I will show you. And now I think it's time to end the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed it and if you think the recipe is good and if you like the recipe, do share with others, do subscribe to my channel, like it and comment it if you want to, and have a nice day and make life easy for others.